Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another MGSS event. If you're new here, my name is Moyosoro Olua Agbojo. I'm a PhD candidate and also a project manager. I'm still a new student, so let me say I'm a PhD student in my first year. And I also work as a project manager. So for me, I'm the brainchild behind MGSS. And what does it mean? MJ's Guide to Student Success. I'm MJ. So what do we do? Basically, I just share tips from my experience, situations around, just to help students to motivate ourselves that we can achieve good success. So if you're new here, please share, remind others that we are live and that they are welcome to join us. And also, you can just comment in the chat, let us know that we're not alone and that you guys can hear us. Also, let us know where you're joining us from, please. So, if you are not a first timer here, then you know that it's a culture of mine to pray before we start anything. So, I would like to do that now. Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for this event. It's not been easy, to be honest. We all have different things we're dealing with, adulthood, so many issues in life, but we still find time to come together to learn, to impact one another. And it's because we have you that we're able to carry on despite life's order. We commit to this event into your hands, take absolute control, commit the speaker into your hands, be with him and his family, and speak to him. In Jesus' name, amen.
Man.
So, once again, welcome, guys. Don't forget to drop your name, where you're joining us from. And like I said, this is another episode of our usual monthly event. And today we're talking about honest community. And we have a special guest joining us today, Abidemi Okin. Did I say your name well?
Yes, that's
Oh,
correct.
thank you. So we're really glad that you're able to join us. And today we're discussing about community, how important community is. To be honest, where I am right now, I wouldn't have made it this far without the support of community. Even as I speak to you right now, I'm still benefiting from just having a community. So I'm glad that you're here to talk to us and you're able to. So briefly, once again, I just talked about MGSS. We have our support group. You're welcome to join us. We just share tips. We also play games. It's just a community of like-minded people, students who want to achieve good success. And we're glad that we're happy to have you join us. So today I'll be reading Abidemi's bio. But before it comes on, actually, I'll be reading his bio. And the first, okay, we have 1 minute, please. I just want to be sure that this is on. Okay, yes, we are live and people can see us. That's good. Uh, I'll just also put a quick reminder on the group for people to join us. Okay, so Camilo, um, Esther, is that you? I can't see your video, but welcome. She's my community manager, so but I don't think she's connected. Okay, so let's get started. Guys, don't forget to drop your comments. Let's hear what you also, if you have questions during the presentation, please drop them in the comment. We're going to address them at the end. So, Epidemi Oki, his professional journey is a unique blend of nutrition, data analysis, and pedagogy. He has held roles as a food safety analyst at Biloxi Industry and Vigil Nigeria Limited, ensuring the quality and safety of food product. He's also a math and science expert at Briley, an ed tech company in Poland, where he demystifies complex mathematical concepts to high school students and college students globally. Wow. Can you guys see that we have a very big person today? A mathematician. That's not something you come by every time. Uh, as a Korean government scholarship holder, he worked as a graduate research assistant in the Molecular Metabolism and Nutrition Lab at Jeonbuk National University, South Korea, where he conducted cutting edge research on the impact of dietary compounds in food on metabolic health. Currently, he's a PhD student at North Carolina A&T University, where his work revolves around utilizing cellular and animal models to unravel the physiological effect of food byproducts on metabolic diseases such as obesity and diabetes. His aspiration his aspiration to his ultimate aspiration, is to drive nutrition focused research and public health advancement, addressing the challenges posed by nutrition and lifestyle related disease to improve global health outcomes. Wow, that's a very, very value. How do I say this? It's a very value packed bio and profile. We're glad to have you here. Thank you. Oh, we have people joining us. Olabisi is saying, well done, NJ. Thank you. Bro Emmy is here. Literally my best support system. I'm gonna be in your DM, Bro Emmy, because you have to be on this MGSS event very soon. And I already have something in mind. I'm gonna reach out to you. Thank you so much for always supporting Bro Emmy. Thank you guys. Please, if you're here, drop your comments. Let's know you're here, and we're happy to have you with us. So now I'm gonna give the floor to Abidemi. And for me, I usually have my pen and my book here to, jot things, because no one is an island of knowledge, and it's always important to learn. I'm always eager and happy to. So, Abidemi, thank you so much for accepting this invite.
Thank you for
And
inviting
you have the floor.
me. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Moyo. Thank you for inviting me to this particular gathering, and I'm happy to be here to speak to everyone, people around the world, about community. Not just community, but a focused community. When Moyo entered my DM and requested for me to come into one of his live program, do I have anything that I have in mind to share with people? I didn't think twice. The first thing that came to my mind was community, because I wouldn't be here. God is the center of it all, but without the help of community, I don't be here where I am today.
Um,
So that's the reason I actually coined this particular topic on harnessing focused community. Harnessing focused community, your secret to success and overcoming your limitations. So when you say to harness means to utilize. That's another word for it. Utilize, to make use of something, to apply. So, but we all know what a community is. But when you say there's a difference between a
uh,
community and
sorry to cut you. If you want to share your screen, because your screen is not showing, you have
okay,
to share your screen.
Okay.
I just thought to mention it to you.
Yeah, for that, I just remember. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, as I'm saying, a nursing focused community, your secret towards success and overcoming your limitation. Once again, my name is Abidemi Okin, and I'm a PhD student at North Carolina A&T. As I've said earlier, what is harness? Harness means to utilize, to make use of something, and to apply. I don't know if anyone has felt like their dream is bigger than their environment. Like you wanted more, like, but you don't really know how to get there. That was me. And I'll be sharing some of my humble beginnings, how I overcome. I was brought up in an environment with limited opportunities, with closed doors, and I'm going to be sharing how I was able to overcome this limitation by harnessing focused community. So if you look at this picture right here, by the right, that is where I lived all my most of my life, and right there, that's me down there. You see, trying to also life one step at a time. You know, I, I grew up in a community where opportunities were limited, as I've said earlier, resources were scarce, and pursuing advanced education is like a dream that is expensive to afford. I had passion, I had dreams, and but the reality was the road wasn't actually clear. No connection, no capital, no shortcut. Just me with my dreams. I remember back then, in this community of ours, no electricity. You hardly even have running water. At some point when you have a kind of roof leaking from your, a leaking roof, and you try to reach out to your neighbors to assist you to fix this leaking roofs. You understand? So that is actually the first time I learned about, we didn't know about that it's called a focus community, but I understand that these people that actually you call your neighbors trying to help you to fix your leaking roof, I see them as my focus community back then. You understand? We have a whole large of community, but among this community, we have some set of people that that will come around to help. There are these people that you share your struggles with. Oh, I have this particular problem in my house. Can you assist me? So you are trying to share your struggle with this kind of people. So I call them what your focused community. So don't. There's a difference between a community and a focused community. So this focused community, they are the people that understands your struggles, they understand your problem, and they try to offer help in one way or the other. So that is the first time I learned about what focused community. And before I move on, I would like to share the limitation trap that we all as humans that we have faced, that we are facing, and of course, probably that we are still going to face, even as we what progress in life. And one of the limitation is what I call the financial constraint. The financial constraint. You know, you'll be like, okay, I couldn't afford the opportunities I wanted. Maybe you want to apply for a scholarship or you want to apply for that job, and you're already calculating the cost in, oh, this particular application fee is $100. The scholarship is 3 weeks. You understand? You like, I can't even afford it. You are trying to, people told you that, oh, before you can get a scholarship, you need to volunteer, you need to do that, you need to do this. But at the end of the day, you realize that even volunteering, you still need what? Finance. How will you transport yourself to what? Even if there are programs organized by these particular NGOs, you think about financial constraints. And at the end of the day, you said, oh, because you don't have this particular application fee, you're not going to apply for this scholarship. That is where you start thinking that, oh, 10,000 people, what makes you okay, 10,000 people applied for this scholarship? What makes you think that you are going to get selected at the end of the day. You start to self-doubt yourself. That will lead me to the second point. You start to have this self-doubt. You start to have this discouragement. Oh, that am I even fit for this position? Do I even have enough experience, for this particular position, for this particular scholarship? Understand? But your parents will even ask you, how is your job search going? How is that particular scholarship you're applying for? How is it going? But because trying to give them explanation that you don't have this, you don't have that, you are tired of it, and what happens is exhausting because being broke itself is what's expensive. But what happened at the end is that your limitations, they are not they are real actually, but here is what actually we miss. Every limitation that we may have, no matter the limitation that we may have, someone in a focused community has already overcome them. I'm going to repeat that. No matter the limitation we are facing, whether it is financial constraint, whether it is self-doubt, whether you have self-doubt or there are a lot of discouragement, someone in a focused community, have already overcome them. So when you try to overcome your limitations alone, it's more like you are fighting with one hand tied behind your back. But in a focused community, your limitation becomes their what? Their own opportunity to help, to contribute, to help what you are going through because they've also faced it. So, of course, another limitation that we face is lack of access to information. There are informations and there are information. When I say there are information and there are information, I mean, you understand what I'm saying. It's more like maybe you are trying to apply for a scholarship and someone just tell you, go to Google, of course. You can do your homework, just go to Google but the accessing information itself it is skill. There are some people that when you have access to them, they can share some information that will actually, help your application process, help your life. I remember when I was applying for my PhD program here in the United States, I have a friend. It's one of the people that, I will call them one of my people in my focused community. And she just told me about a woman, a professor in the United States, about her research. I don't even know. I didn't even know about her. So she just sent me an email that I can try to reach out to her. That she thinks she's, looking for someone with my, someone working on this kind of thing. So at that particular point, I've not even started applying for my PhD, but I had plans to apply. So she sent me an email and that was it. I reached out to her, and the conversation sparked from there, and that is it. So sometimes your people that you have within your community, your focused community, they are just everything you need, to let me say, to succeed in life, to overcome your limitations. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Now, we've talked about the problems. We've talked about the limitations, the walls that we all face, financial constraints, lack of access to information, and the likes. But the turning point, because everyone has faced this limitation in one way or the other. But my own turning point, which I believe can also work for my viewers out there, because I believe that everyone has faced these limitations in one way or the other, is having was the right community. Not just community, but what? The right community. So I term something a 5-person rule. The first thing is the 5-person rule. So you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely because they are choosing your future. And that's the brutal truth. Think about your WhatsApp. Checking it right now. Who are your last 5 conversations? The last 5 people you had conversations with. I would say those are literally the people that are programming your future. These are people that are indirectly was choosing your future for you. These are people. Okay, let me say, are these people the people you share your struggles with? Those are your focused community. I tracked my own life, and when I was talking in a, let me say, village back then, I remember that I had some few people that are close to me, would complain about no opportunities, we'd validate each other's excuses. We say, oh, no, that's how life is now. And then I I realized that these are people that they understand my struggles. These are people that I noticed that I feel free to share my struggles with, you know, and they also do the same. So I categorize this set of people now. Categorize them into what? Five set of people. I'm going to mention how to build this five, you know, person rule in the next slide. So I try to categorize people around me, people I know that I can freely share my struggles with. I categorize them into into five set of people. And these are people that I know that when I have issues, I reach out to them. When they have issues too, they can reach out to me. And that is how, we share the same struggles together, and we share our wins and loses together. You know, I Let's say, for instance, maybe you have someone in your group that is starting a small business, or another person, say Mary, that's applying for international scholarship, another one who likes to read book, another one that is good with money, knows how to save. Imagine you have those set of people within you, like in your own personal community, in your own focused community. Before you know now, that's when you start trying to adjust to, oh, before you know it, you started waking up 5 a.m. You started trying to apply for this particular scholarship. Before you know, you already know how to save from the little you earn. Before you know it, you are already learning from their own behaviors too. Those people that you call your friends, those people are your focused community. And the second thing is deep roots, what I call the deep roots versus the shallow connections. So take for instance, 500 LinkedIn connections is less than 5 people who answer your 2 a.m. calls. One believes in your potential, not your position. So, sometimes I used to pride myself in, when I have the first time I had my 1,000 LinkedIn connections. What happened? I needed a job. I sent message to some couple of people, and at the end of the day, nobody will reply. Zero replies. And then I remember during my undergraduate days, because my undergraduate days was in OAU, Obafemi Awolowo University. So I stayed in Awolowo. I don't know if there's anyone that went to OAU right here. So I stayed in Awolowo Hall. And sometimes when I'm preparing for exams, and maybe the lights cut off, I have some set of people within my corner that I can call any time of the day. If it's 1 a.m. that I need help, I call them. Before you know, they're already there. You know, they come over. Maybe I'm trying to read and the light just went off. They come over with their extension cables. They try to provide solution to my problem. Those people are what I call my focus community. These are people I can call any time of the day, and they believe in my potential. They believe that, oh, this guy get future. Understand? So these people are your focus community. And the last thing is what I call the mirror effect. Your community reflects your commitment. Your community reflects what? Your commitment. Focus community isn't found. Sorry, it's built. You build them. The depth of the support you receive matches the depth of the investment you give. Now, let me give you an example of that. Let me give you an example of that. Um, there are some. I'll just set an example. There are some set of people that when they needed something, that is when they reach out to people. But you can't receive what you don't give. You can't receive what you don't give. If you need help from someone, you are trying to connect to a particular person, there is one thing that we must learn to do. We must learn to give. This particular person, you already know that, oh, this person, like, he is working on maybe on cancer metabolism. His research interest is on lipid metabolism, just for instance. Try to send opportunities related to that particular person's interest. Send opportunities their way. You too, we know that you to yourself, you dey find opportunity, you are looking for opportunities, you are looking for this particular job, to boost your CV, you are looking for this particular scholarship, to progress in your academic career. But that doesn't mean that you can't also share informations, to people. Learn to give. Learn to give. What you give, before you know it will come back to you multiple fold. So your community is like a mirror. If you are getting shallow support, it means that you are also giving shallow support. If people don't show up for you, you need to ask yourself, who am I showing up for? The math is actually very simple. When you give nothing, you get nothing. So, in summary, give deeply. And once you give deeply, you know what you get? You get depth. Before you know, now you get some information that you yourself, you are unable to access from those people that you share what information with. The mirror effect. Now, I've talked about the limitations that we faced. I've talked about how building a focused community can help us to break these limitations. So how do we break these limitations? What is the strategy? I call something advisory board. My people in my corner, my focused group, my focused community, I call them my advisory board. So I also want to implore you to build your advisory board for life. And who are those advisory boards? So I'm going to divide them into five. I'm going to divide them into five. So I will divide your advisory board into five. So I will advise you also build your own advisory board. It might be that you already have them within your contacts, but you can't really differentiate which is which. Or maybe you don't even have your focused community yet. You can also start building. So the first person that you need to, that must be on your advisory board is what I call the mentor. The mentor is, I know everybody is familiar with when you say mentor. A mentor is someone that is 10 years or maybe 5 years ahead of you. It might be in terms of age, it might be in terms of position, someone that that, oh, this person is actually living your life, like what you want to become, who you want to become, or who you plan, if I can be this this person in the next 10 years. So those are people you can call a mentor because they've passed through some the difficult stages. So when you rely on these people, they can give you clues on how to overcome those stages without problems. They face the problem. So the question is, why must we face the similar problems when we already have people that have gone through it? That's where the mentor will come in. So the first person that must be on your advisory board is what? The mentor. The second person is what I call your peer. When I say the peer, it means that the person that you are on the same level with, the person that you share the same struggle, the person that understands your struggle. So let me give you an instance. Before I came to South Korea, before I went to South Korea, I have a friend. His name is Kolade. And before we came to South Korea, we had plans of studying abroad. You understand? We had plans of studying abroad, and we work together. We do GRE. We come together. He will come to my house. We'll study together. By the time application period commence, we apply together. We check each other's statement of purpose. Stuff like that. These are people that you are you have the same focus. You have the same goals. So they understand your struggle. So I call them what the pair. They have to be on your advisory board. The pair can be one or it can be two, depending on how broad you want your focus community to be. The third person is what I call the connector. Sorry, I'm going to be done in a few minutes. The connector. The connector is someone who knows everything. someone that opens door. Some people knows how to network. If you have that kind of people in your focus community, forget. Their network is your network. So you must have such person on your what? On your advisory board. The next person is what I called what? The supporter. These are people that support you, when you feel down. When the rejection starts trooping in, it's a person that will what? Encourage you. You're more like your emotional anchor when things get tough. For people that are married, maybe it can be your wife, it can be your husband. So I call them the supporter. It can even be maybe your best friend. And these are people that we call the emotional anchor, people that can, lift your spirit when you are down. When those, those sorry rejections now, those red love letters, we call them love letters. When they start trooping in, they must be on your what? On your advisory board. And lastly, the apprentice. When I say the apprentice, I mean someone you are teaching, because teaching actually solidifies our growth. So you must have someone that you can also teach. The more you teach, the more you learn. So these are the advisory board. So I have divided them into these 5 set of people. So if you are able to build these 5 set of people, as your focused group, focused community, then before you know it, you are already on your what? On your way to success. Never look down on them. You never know. Never look down any one of them. A nursing focused community. So the I've said that maybe you need to make a kind of maybe a 5 groups or a 6 groups focused community, and you might be like, hey, now just this person go do this thing, that's where the multiplication effect come in, because each of your 5 groups or each of the 6 groups, each of them also has their own connection. They have their own connection. You don't know who they know. And that is where the multiplication effect will come in. When they believe in you, it means their networks also becomes your extended reach. It's a multiplication effect. Imagine each of them has 150 connections, just for instance. You multiply by 6, you have like 900 plus connections that already what they also believe in you. Why? Because their own network also becomes your extended reach. They become your ambassador, not just ordinary contact. These people will now become your ambassador, not just contact. So they tend to mention you, they tend to mention your name even when you are not there. When they see an opportunity, the first thing that comes to their mind is you. When they are in rooms that people talk about opportunities, or maybe just say, for instance, now I'm in food and nutrition, and I have a friend that studies civil engineering, and he or she find him or herself in a room that they talk about opportunities that is related to my field. Who do you think will come to that person's mind? You. So before you know that, they send you that what opportunity, and before you're already on your way towards to success. As I've mentioned earlier, the multiplication effect, the compound effect. 6 people in your focused community that are invested in you, multiply by their connections. Before you have like 900 potential doors opening for you. So the multiplication effect. The multiplication effect. Now, I understand that a lot of people, we attend webinars, I'm sure that even what have said today so far, a lot of people have, they have heard it. I'm just hoping that you guys will be able to see it again in a different light. So that's why after any webinar or any program we find ourselves, after each program, we must be able to overcome some barriers. And the first one is what I call the ego. The ego of, oh, I can do it myself. I'll be able to figure it out myself. You understand? I'm smart enough. I can do my CV myself. I can write my SOP myself. The ego of I can do it myself. Asking for help is not admitting defeat. It is admitting that we are human. It's not admitting defeat at all. It is admitting the fact that what we are human. So be open to share your struggles. Be open to ask for help. You don't know who is going to who will help you, or who will send you that information that will change your life forever. The second thing is overcoming what? The time barrier. I'm too busy to network. One can we cannot be 100% too busy to network. You know, you've applied for jobs, it's not coming forth. But ask yourself, how many conferences have you attended? How many outing have you attended? Your friend invited you to an outing. It's like, I'll just sleep on my bed. Sometimes the opportunities, the breakthrough that um, the breakthrough in life is actually maybe from the people you network with. And how do you get network? If you go out, don't form too busy. You can't be too busy for your life. This is your life. So overcoming time is very crucial. And the last thing is fear. You have to overcome your fear. You see yourself as not being good enough. You know, you see yourself as not being good enough. Can I even do this? Do I even have the required experience to apply for this scholarship? Overcome your fear. Overcome your fear. It's very important. Hmm? So your breakthrough is not about having a better CV. It's not about having another certification or more application. Your breakthrough is admitting that you need help, making time for real connection, and being brave enough to be real. All these walls, all these limitations I've mentioned, they are all in our head, which means we can what? We can tear them down. And lastly, before I go, I've mapped something into what a 30 days advisory board challenge. I've mentioned earlier that you should have your own focus group, which I call the advisory board. So I've divided this challenge into a 4-week challenge. Maybe during your, free time, you can try to follow these steps to build your own advisory board. And the week one, I called it map your five. Find them. List 20 people who have helped you grow in the past, or they are still helping you grow. You know, from this set of 20 people, you can fill the seat that I've mentioned earlier. I mentioned your advisory board earlier, the mentor, the peer, connector, your cheerleader, and students, people that you teach. Divide them. Then pick top 2 realistic candidates per row. That's for your week one. Then for the week two, give. I mentioned something about the mirror effect the other time. You can't receive, reach out first with value. Contact 3 people, it might be more than 3 people, with something useful. Share an article they'd like, you know, share an article they'd like, make an introduction, give them an old advice or thanks. Not just ask, but what? Give. For your week three, you can test the waters. You can build rhythm. Follow up with those people who responded. Some will respond, some might not respond. You can follow up with those who responded. Share one specific challenge. Share one specific challenge that you are facing. You can propose a simple monthly check-in to see who shows up. And lastly, you can now lock it in. You can make it real. you know you can formalize with 3 to 4 people who engage with you. You can set a kind of monthly 20 minutes call. You can create. This one is not necessarily important. I don't have a WhatsApp group for my focus community, but I know how we reach out to each other. So that one, it's optional. It depends on you. But if creating a simple WhatsApp group is what is convenient for you, or you feel creating an email thread is what is important for you, you can go ahead. And lastly, you can share your 90 days goal. Maybe you have plans. Oh, this is what I intend to achieve in the next 30 days. This is what you intend to achieve in the next 60 days. This is what you intend to achieve in the next 90 days. Share your goals. Ask for what? Specific help on one particular thing. And before you know, you are already on your way to success. And finally, I will wrap up with this particular popular saying that alone you go fast, but together you go far. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Wow, that was a lot. You can just stop sharing your screen now. Thank you so much for the value. I like this is a whole lot to take in. Thank you. And just from the some of the things you said, I was just reflecting, and I don't know if you've observed that I was bending my head. It's because I've been taking notes, writing down things, and
Okay. I don't
I'm grateful because I can actually relate to some of the things you mentioned. I remember this time last year I wanted to apply for a conference, and I had this self doubt, and I just spoke to my mentor about it, and he told me. I said, I don't have a paper yet. It's just a proposal. But I said, well, people, do you think people who have papers even have better papers than you? Just submit it. The least they can say is no. Then why are you afraid of no that you've not even heard yet? And I was just thinking with him that he has a point. And that gave me the courage I needed to apply for that conference. And believe me, my proposal, not even a paper, my proposal, my business proposal got selected. And that was how I was able to travel to Prague to present in June.
know.
Another thing I can relate to is my driver's license experience in Germany. Oh my God, it was awful. I've shared this before. I failed my exams 3 times. And on the final trial, if I didn't pass it, I was going to have to start all over again because it's been more than a year. And according to the law in Germany, you
Oh.
can only do the driver's license for 1 year. And if you fail it, then you have to start the process all over. And there are so many stages, like so many stages involved in
Mm.
like writing the driver's license. So I already had this fear, I had the language fear. And every time I feel I was always felt terrible. And on this day, my husband was working and he couldn't take me. And a friend of mine in my focus group took me. And as he was going, he told me, he said, MJ, calm down. You're the one paying for this. It's like he said things to me like, don't let these people put fear in you, like because they already see us like you're an immigrant. There are some things you shouldn't achieve. There are things you
Mhm.
should like. He just spoke those words to me that gave me confidence because usually when I'm going to the driving school, a day before I would have done like a test run, and I usually fail the test run and I will fail the exam too. So the first 3 times it happened, and on the fourth time, the day before, I had failed as well. So I
Mhm.
was already thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna have to start this whole process. Like nothing in my life has challenged me so much like the driving, like in my adult life, this
Driving.
getting a German driver's license gave me PTSD. Like it was literally the biggest challenge of my life at some point. This is how serious, and it was just in that car. It spoke to me, and something in me changed. Something in me shifted. Like instead of that fear that I had, I was going with that morning. I just had this strange confidence, like like it was as if God used him to just talk to me.
Mhm.
And it wasn't like I just had this, I was able to just take the wheel. And when they told me I had passed, I didn't even believe it. I was just crying because I didn't even know how I had done it. That just shows the power of like community. And I have so many, like countless experiences of people in my community
Mhm.
just helping me out, being the support that I need. And I'm grateful for having this community, having a mentor, for having even a mentee, for having my peers, people who encourage me. And even on LinkedIn, I've met so many amazing people. Like I cannot imagine that I don't even know this person from Adam. And the support they feel it feels like you've known them for a long time, like, and they can relate to you. It even feels strange that sometimes you find yourself telling them things you don't even tell the people who are closer to you. And this is somebody you have never met.
Never met.
And they support you even more than family, even online. So
Yeah.
I think this is This has been a very valuable session. Thank you so much. I'm just going to go quickly to the comment now to check out questions. I'm sure we already have some. And guys, if you please, if you have any more, you could just drop them in the comment. I'm going to point them out. Uh, Abigail, hello, Abigail Anyosoya. She's saying, well done, MJ. Thank you. Bro Emmy is saying last five WhatsApp chat. What does this mean, please? Okay, that's
Last five WhatsApp
something
chats.
to take note of. I
Which
think it meant the last the set of people, the last people you chat with on WhatsApp when you said
oh, okay, okay.
so it
I
wants to explain that. Let me
oh
just
okay.
go through more, then you can take them all
All right,
together.
all right, all right.
I bluntly. Oh, she even. Oh, you have somebody who explained this already. Hello, Bolali. She's saying the last five people you chat with reflect your circle because you become those you associate with. Okay. Uh, thank you for joining, sis. Johnson is saying, well done, sis. Thank you, bro. Um, Bremy is also saying focus community is good. Um, Okay, Remy is responding to Blessing and saying the slide says spend the most time with, but when you say last five, it could be anybody really.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it's just more like I'm not. It's just a literal statement. Sorry.
yes. I Miriam. Okay, sorry, I missed this. But Amy is saying in my football club in Abuja, there is a slogan: "Men they observe because they are watching, but they use action to speak. If you don't give, you don't get." Without being told, people turn up for you depending on how you turn up for them. That is very, very correct. True, true. You cannot receive what you've not given. Actually,
Can't.
that's very true. Thank you, Emmy. And Miriam is saying, I'm learning. Thank you, MJ. Thank you so much for your support. But Emmy is saying, we the supporters. Yes, so one of my biggest support
What
system.
I do.
Like, I cannot even, Emmy, you're part of my top five. Don't worry. Thank you. He's also saying this is a good board. Thank you, Akin. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Akin. Yeah, the multiplication effect is real. True, true. Ego, the cut off gang. That's true. Fear, imposter syndrome gang. This one I have experienced. I have lived it. It's just it's sometimes it also shows that we're human, bro. Emmy, it shows we're human because there's no like fear. Also, that's why I like this saying that your dream is not big enough if it does not scare you. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Most of the things that I've achieved, I was scared. I was terrified of doing them at first,
Mhm.
but eventually, they were surmounted, and I'm like, wow, I did that. Like I couldn't believe it. So fear is something we just have to face. Yes. Bro, Emmy is also saying my close focus group have a cooperative. We supported each other in the last 3 years since we started. Wow, this is something I also need to consider in Germany. But I'm always scared of people running away with money. Nobody, because the cooperative, when money enter, it becomes
my
something
my
else.
friends will be
No,
for years. So you just have
really?
to find them. You just
Hey,
have
no, there's also a saying that money spoils friendship. It's easy when
mm,
but if they're your
mm,
trusted circle, of course it can work. That's true. Uh Omobalane is saying this was a powerful session. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Sir Johnson. Just appreciation. I love you, see. My brother is also saying wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for joining to support. Oh, we have a lot of people saying thank you, thank you. They can't thank you enough. Even shaking dobale, I became cool. Thank you. Should I kneel down or should I prostrate? Thank you so much. It's been very, 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 very nice. So,
I think
I
there's a
think there's a
question.
question now from Olabisi. So, how about when you do your best to reach out and support others in their success journey, but still you don't get the same energy you give from them? Oh, good question.
Yeah. So I've mentioned it too. Not everyone will. Some will respond. Some will not respond. That is why it's building a community itself. It's a job. So
Hmm.
you just have to. If they don't, if they are not giving you the same energy, it means they are not. They can't be within those focus community you are trying to create. You understand? So you just have to keep trying. When the right people comes, you will know they will definitely give you. When you see the person giving you that same energy that you want to, you know that, oh, these people, these are part of people you can call what your focus community. So if you are not getting the energy, just you don't need to worry about it. So you just keep trying.
That's true. Thank you for that. I'm just going to add quickly that we shouldn't also be quick to cancel people or judge, because now we're in this phase of adulthood and it's really, really hard, to be honest. People are going through a lot. Forget that we're all on social media smiling. We are dealing with our own shege. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. People have things they're dealing with. So if it takes a while for someone to respond to you, give them grace. Let's learn to give grace. I'm just adding that to Epidemy's point. So, like, there's another question here. Abigail is asking, how can I find a mentor?
Finding a mentor, the way I it depends on, when you see someone that they reflect what you want to be in life, you just find a way to connect with them. As I've said, to make someone a mentor, you have to give. These people that we call mentors, we know that they are people that are already way above, ahead of us, and we used to have this feeling that they don't need help too, which is not true. They need help. They are also looking out for opportunities, and you can come in from that angle. I don't know, you can introduce yourself, maybe no matter the social media platform that you find them, introduce yourself. From there, just they might not respond at that moment, but try as much as possible to ask about what they do, show interest in what they do, and share opportunities along that line with them. You know that you are the one that wants something, but before you can get something from them, you need to be able to give. You need to be able to, I remember the way I got my own mentor. It was since my secondary school days. It's funny. I was in my was the SS senior secondary school, one SS1, we call it SS1 right in Nigeria. So he taught me biology. She taught me biology, and she came to serve in my school then. She was just a couple, you know. But I saw something in her. She's very brilliant, and she's someone that I know that, oh, if I can make this person my mentor, I know that she has not actually gotten to, she's not someone big at that time. But if you really know where she is now, she's one of the people that is handling all this banking sector, and she's now become so so big. And so it's more like, be able to figure out this person and how your passion aligns, how this person aspiration aligns with yours too. Understand? So try to give, and once you give, of course, you receive back from them. Yeah. So you just have
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, thank you for that. I'm just also gonna share like a brief experience. It's also want to I think it starts from admiration first, and also you see someone you admire, you see someone you want to be like. For me, some people I see as my mentor, and they don't even know it yet. Like I don't have this. Uh, how do I say it? I regard them as my mentor in a way. Like if
okay.
this person can achieve this, then I can do it too. So they, for me, they're like from afar,
Mhm.
but I
Yeah.
draw my motivation from them. You don't have to like be and like have a relationship, a personal relationship with everyone. But I also have like a mentor that I connect with, that I talk to. And how did it start? When I started my master's, it was a graduate assistant. And for me, anytime I faced any challenge or anything, it was my first point. So I would like, it was like part of his job to help students. So, and people don't make use of this service. So I was always going to meet him that, oh, please help me with this, please do this for me. And from it wasn't like something that just clicked, or that just it took a while. Then we got talking, then we got then we started. We found out that, oh, we shared similar interests, and I found out that, okay, this person is, and that is how he was able to help me through the phase. And at each, to be honest, at each phase, I've always had mentors, professors, people I look up to. But it's not everyone you have to approach, or it's not everyone you. Sometimes you can just, yeah, draw strength from them. Let them motivate you that if they can do it, you can do it as well. And don't also think that maybe your mentors are better than you, or they're also humans like you. In fact, they can also learn from you. Life is about learning from one another, growing together. That's the thing. And I'm also grateful for the people that I surround myself with. So we're all about, uplifting one another. So thank you so much, Abidemi. Bro Emmy has responded. I think he said, oh, he said there are no new friends. We started from always flexing, and someone said we should start saving some of this money, and that's how we started. Today we have over 10 million. Like, play.
Hmm.
Bremy, where can I get your form? Oh? I need to join this this group. Then wow, wow, wow. I have long friends, but now it's memes we are sending to one another. Hey Lord, what? 10
God, I
million.
beg.
After this session, I'm gonna go and call all of them. They're not 10 million. Wow, that's a lot. Uh Okay, but Emmy is also responding to Olabisi's question, and he's saying sometimes there are people you think they are your support system, but they are not. True. But my advice is cast your net wider. Every fish has good and bad fish. You just have to find ways to separate. Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you, bro. Emmy. You are like our second speaker for this session.
Yeah,
Thank you. To
really
find
teaching
a
me that.
mentor, seek persons you admire their journey, learn from their pathways, and if you can reach out to them for guidance, if it is good, if you can, no pressure. Yes, there's no need to pressure yourself at all. Yeah, my mentors have been my bosses that I admire their etiquette. So I started copying them and studying their approach to life. Some of them didn't even know. Yes, but also know that to be a mentee is a lot of work. Yes, so you have to pay the dues. Yes, that's true. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to grow. It's really a lot. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, for your questions. And I don't think we have any more. And because of our time now, we have to go. I just want to say thank you so much, Abidemi, for joining
Thank you
us
so much
in
for
this
having me.
impact. And someone is already asking that, please, are we going to get the slide in my community? So if
Okay.
it would be really great if you could
Thank you.
get the presentation slide. Please, you could just also drop it on the group, because I was surprised to see that you are even on the community. You are part of MJ's tribe. So
I will send
thank
it to the
you.
WhatsApp.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So everyone, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next month. Until then, remain blessed. I'm just gonna say the closing prayer now, and we'll call it a night. Thank you, Father, for this impactful session. Thank you for taking absolute control. Yes, you please help us to not just be hearers alone, but also doers of the words that we've heard. In Jesus' name, Amen.
Amen.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you,
Have a
Moyo.
lovely night, and I wish you all a wonderful week. Thank you so